Don't tell anyone she's alive.
She heard the metal scream before the car flipped. Then silence. Fire. And the thought that broke her heart wasn't death. It was betrayal. Jasmine Carter had loved her husband with a loyalty money couldn't buy. So when the brakes failed on a lonely road that night, she didn't think accident. She thought, who wanted me gone? Later, through swollen eyes and broken bones, the truth crept in. The whispers. The missing calls. Her best friend's perfume still lingering in her home. Don't tell anyone she's alive, the doctor whispered. Jasmine closed her eyes and made a decision that would change everything. Because while the world mourned her, someone else was already sleeping in her bed. And that's where her story truly began. Before we dive deeper, please, if you're listening to this right now, I want to prove my stepmom wrong. She said I can't even reach 1,000 subscribers. Help me show her that stories like this matter. Subscribe to Jassie's Folklore, and let's keep breathing life into tales that refuse to die. Now, let's continue. She didn't remember the moment of impact, only the sound. A sharp metallic scream tore through the night as Jasmine Carter's steering wheel locked under her hands. The road curved left, but the car didn't listen. It kept going straight into darkness. Her heart jumped. Her foot slammed the brake. Nothing. The pedal sank uselessly beneath her foot, like it had given up on her before she even could. Jesus, she whispered. The headlights caught trees rushing toward her, their shadows stretching like claws. Then the world flipped. Glass exploded. Metal crushed inward. Her body flew, weightless for half a second, before pain swallowed everything. When Jasmine opened her eyes again, she thought she was dead. The air smelled wrong, too sharp, too clean. Her chest burned with every breath. A white ceiling hovered above her, lights buzzing softly like flies. Hospital. She tried to move, but her body refused. Panic rose in her throat. She's awake, a voice said. A man leaned into her view, older, calm, his eyes carrying something heavier than relief. Easy, he murmured. You've been through a lot. Jasmine swallowed. My car, the brakes. The doctor's jaw tightened just slightly. A detail most people would miss. We'll talk about that later, he said gently. Later came in fragments. Broken ribs, a shattered arm, internal bleeding they barely stopped in time. And then the words that changed everything. These brake lines didn't fail on their own. Jasmine stared at him. They were cut, he continued quietly. Cleanly. Intentionally. Her mind rejected it first. Then it raced. Who would do this? The answer crept in like a slow poison, bringing faces with it. Her husband's distracted smiles. His phone always face down. The way her best friend Grace suddenly knew too much about her schedule. Grace. Her chest tightened worse than the injuries. Your family has been notified, the doctor went on. Your husband should be here soon. No, Jasmine Carter. The word surprised even her. No, the doctor echoed. She forced her good hand to grip the sheets. Don't tell him yet. Silence filled the room. The doctor studied her carefully. Mrs. Carter, someone tried to kill you. I know, she whispered. And I need time to understand why. That was when her cousin Lever walked in. Lever had always been the quiet one. The observer. The type who noticed patterns while others ignored them. When his eyes met hers, something passed between them. Recognition, fear, and resolve. Later, when the machines hummed and the hallway emptied, Jasmine told him everything. About the late nights, the sudden coldness, the way Grace had offered to help more than necessary. Lever listened without interrupting. Then he said, "What if they think you're dead?" The idea landed heavy in the room. What? Jasmine asked. What if, he repeated slowly, this accident gives you the only advantage you'll ever get? Her breath caught. Think about it, he continued. If someone planned this, they'll come back to finish the job. But not if they believe it worked. Jasmine stared at the ceiling, her heart pounding. Fake her death? The thought was terrifying. But beneath the fear, something else stirred. Control. The doctor returned that night. Jasmine made her decision before doubt could talk her out of it. I want you to pronounce me dead, she said. The doctor stiffened. That's not. I know what I'm asking, she interrupted softly. Please. He looked between her and Lever. This could destroy your life. She laughed weakly. Someone already tried. The doctor exhaled slowly. I'll need a reason. Jasmine's voice didn't shake. Because if I go home alive, I won't survive the next attempt. Silence. And the doctor nodded once. 2 days later, the news broke. Billionaire's wife dies after horrific crash. Flowers flooded the Carter mansion. Church members cried. Friends posted memories online. Andre Carter wept on camera. Grace collapsed dramatically at the funeral, held up by Andre's arms. Her tears came easily, too easily. From a quiet room miles away, Jasmine watched it all on a small screen. Alive, hidden, burning. The woman they buried wasn't her anymore. And as the dirt covered the coffin, Jasmine made a promise to herself. If you want me dead, I'll show you what happens when I come back. What would you do if the people you trusted most stood smiling at your grave? From the shadows, Jasmine's eyes never left her home. The mansion she had built with Andre. The walls that held every memory. The laughter of her daughter Maya, now silenced beneath someone else's cold rule. Grace moved in days after the funeral. The woman who once called Jasmine's sister now wore her clothes, sat in her chair, spoke to Maya as if she was the child's real mother. But to Jasmine, Grace was poison wrapped in a smile. Through hidden cameras Lever had helped install, Jasmine watched every move, every word. Grace's voice was syrupy sweet, but the tone beneath was cruel. Stop crying, Maya. You're making everyone uncomfortable, she snapped one afternoon, eyes sharp. Maya flinched. Her small frame trembled. Jasmine's heart cracked. Andre was distant, distracted, drowning in Grace's false devotion. He brushed off complaints from staff, ignored Maya's bruises. Maybe the stress got to her, he said one night, holding Grace's hand. Jasmine's lips pressed tight. Grace's plans ran deeper than anyone suspected. She siphoned money from Jasmine's accounts, canceled charity events, banned Maya's nanny, all while pretending to be the grieving widow. One night, Jasmine whispered into her phone, Lever, she's planning to leave Maya once she's drained everything. Lever's voice was grave. We need proof. Days later, a package arrived at Jasmine's safe house. Inside, videos. Grace confessing her lies, detailing her schemes. Her voice cold, her smile twisted. I don't care about the kid, she said. She's just a way to keep him hooked. Jasmine played the videos over and over, the words burning into her soul. Her daughter's safety was at stake. But revenge wouldn't come from anger alone. It had to be perfect, public, unforgettable. Have you ever trusted someone so much, only to have them betray you? Jasmine asked the camera during a quiet moment. The clock ticked closer to Grace's memorial brunch, their community's way of honoring Jasmine's memory. Grace planned it as her coronation. Jasmine planned it as the stage for truth. And she would make sure the world saw every lie. What would you do if the woman you called your best friend became your worst enemy? The grand hall was packed. Flowers bloomed like the lies Grace had sown. Faces filled with sympathy, sorrow, and false hope. Grace stood at the podium, flawless in a black dress that wasn't hers to wear. She smiled too wide, waiting for the perfect moment. And then the doors creaked. All heads turned. There she was, Jasmine Carter, alive, standing tall, her eyes blazing with the fire of every secret she had kept. The room fell silent. Then gasps, whispers, and disbelief. I see many of you believe the story. Jasmine's voice was steady, cutting through the tension. But some truths were buried deeper than any grave. She pressed play. The screen flickered to life, showing Grace's confessions, her callous words, her plans to abandon Maya, the lies she spun to manipulate Andre and the community. Gasps turned into cries. Grace's face twisted from confident to terrified. Andre's eyes widened, shame crashing over him like a tidal wave. You lied to all of us, Jasmine said, stepping forward, her voice trembling but firm. You tried to kill me. You stole my life. But I'm not the one who's dead today. The police arrived moments later. Grace was handcuffed, charged with attempted murder, fraud, and child abuse. Andre stood frozen, a broken man. Jasmine embraced Maya, whispering, "We're going home." Months later, Jasmine launched a foundation, helping women trapped in darkness find their light. Her story wasn't just about survival. It was about reclaiming power, peace, and purpose. Because forgiveness doesn't mean weakness. And survival isn't just living. It's rising. Moral of the story. Jasmine's journey reminds us all. Betrayal can shatter trust, but it cannot break the spirit. In moments of darkness, strength can rise from the ashes of pain. Her story teaches us that forgiveness is a choice, not a weakness, and reclaiming your life is the truest form of survival. No matter how deep the wound, hope and faith light the path forward. We don't just endure, we transform, rebuild, and rise. If this story touched you, hit that subscribe button for more emotional tales from Jassie's Folklore. And even if it didn't, come on, subscribe anyway. We'll win you over next time. Drop a comment, like the video, and let's keep the stories alive. Thanks for watching.